Should you buy a PS5 Pro? Well, at the end of this video, you are going to know, because this is the most honest PS5 Pro comparison you will find on the internet. I bought the PS5 Pro, the PS5, the PSVR 2 and Gran Turismo 7 with my own money, and I've been running some tests and the results are very surprising. Not necessarily what you would expect. So let's get straight into it. This is, by the way, all the footage in this video is actual gameplay. I am actually driving. I'm a pretty good Gran Turismo 7 driver, so this is not replay footage. And here on the left hand side we've got ray tracing off, PSSR on, middle ray tracing on, PSSR off, and on the right hand side everything on. And the first thing I want to point out to you is a very obvious difference here. Have a look at the light reflections on the wings. You can see those rear lights on the Peugeot RCZ illuminating the rear spoiler. And that's a big difference. It's something you notice when you're driving. You'll notice other cars illuminating in that area. We can also see the colours as well on PSSR. You know, I wasn't sure about it at launch. There's some instances where it really doesn't work that I'm going to show you. But you can see here with the crowds, it's sort of defining the shapes a little bit more clearly. Now, does that matter when you're concentrating on the road in a racing game? This is where I have an issue with Digital Foundry and kind of other pixel peeping sites. You know, this is a racing game. I'm looking for the apex. So I am going to concentrate in this video also what's important as a racing driver. I think that's really relevant in these comparisons. I'll always bear it in mind. Have a look here at the rain reflections. You can see that little bit of extra detail you get on PSSR. You can see more rain reflections, more raindrops on the bodywork of the car, I believe, with a PSSR on, ray tracing on, than you get on the one on the left hand side. But you can also make your own decisions here. The clouds as well, was interesting. By the way, all of the PS5 Pro footage in this video was shot basically at the same time with all the same recording settings and all the same track conditions. So it's very interesting to see more defined clouds on the right hand side, I would say, with PSSR on. That might be because it's picking out those differences where it gets kind of washed out in the greyness. Not always big differences though. I mean, have a look here as we go on the exit of P1 at Spa. You can't really point out that many differences in between them, and that's with, you know, the big PS5 Pro settings. Coming up here at Spa, by the way, the left hand side is a recording I did quite a long time ago with the final race in Gran Turismo before you complete the game. The right hand side I did very recently on the PS5 Pro. So this is more about the reflection and the shadowing than like the pure resolution, and also the time of day is a bit different as well. Like I said, I'm going to be completely honest with you. But you can see the reflections here. You've got much better reflections on the right hand side, and also the rear metallic kind of spoiler on the car on the right hand side just has better reflections. Look at the lighting as well on the rear of the car on the right hand side. There is a little bit of artifacting, I think, around the rear brake lights, a little bit of a glow. This one I'm showing you here is more about the sharpness. Remember, the color is going to be different, slightly different time of day, slightly different quality of the recording as well. But you can just see more kind of subtlety in the shadows, in the way the lighting is on the right hand side with ray tracing on in game. But is there a big enough difference here to justify that $700 fee? This is what you are going to make your mind up. Doesn't matter what Sony say, doesn't matter what paid influencers say. Ultimately, it's our hard-earned money that's going to go towards these sort of consoles, and not everything is going to be a good deal. Everyone's got different priorities. You might be an esports driver that you arguably don't need any of these extra features because you want as minimum detail as possible, or you might want to, you know, have the best possible experience of Gran Turismo 7 because it's your favorite game of all time. So again, looking through here with the comparison, you can just see more sophisticated shadowing and lighting. Again here, we've got some quite old PS5 footage on the left and brand new PS5 Pro footage in the middle and on the right hand side. This is going to be very, very, very significant as well. Have a look at the mirrors here. So you have clearer, it seems like clearer reflection left hand side on the PS5, but I think you just have more sophisticated reflections on the right in the mirrors. PSSR coming in here very clearly. This is the shimmering, this is the aliasing you get with PSSR. I don't think it's as good on games where there's a lot of fast movement, like racing games. I think it struggles to deal with how to upscale in that context. I think it's made for kind of 2D platformers and stuff like that. It's going to be great. Here though, you can see there's a definite benefit between the sharpness of the flowers, the sunflowers I guess, or whatever they are. You let me know in the comments. versus PSSR off. Remember, both the middle and the right hand side have ray tracing on. On the left hand side is PS5, where there was no option for ray tracing. It is pretty incredible, I think. Let me know what you think about this. That the PS5 stands up so well. I'm having to explain things that at first glance, if you kind of step back here and look at all three, can you see an immediate difference in motion? Or do we need to stop the frame and have a look? Again, same setup here. Left hand side is a lap I was doing on PS5 quite a long time ago. And then in the middle on the right hand side, I've done the lap again. So it's all me driving live and recording it. PSSR off in the middle, PSSR on the right hand side, ray tracing on both the middle and the right hand side. It's a little bit more sophisticated lighting as you might expect, and shadowing. But to be honest, I mean, you'd have to be you've got to have some other reason to go for this. I mean, you'd be mad to spend the amount of money, surely, upgrading a PS5 to PS5 Pro for this negligible increase in kind of your experience, especially when it's a racing game. And for me, I'm getting enjoyment from driving the cars, the handling, trying to master the track. I'd much rather have more tracks and better graphics, for example. Showing you here the bridge, interesting. PSSR doing a really good job here on the bridge, I would say. Again, in that bridge, no ray tracing on the left-hand side. Did it seem that different? Not to me, I really thought. The clouds are different, but I wouldn't look too much into the clouds versus PS5 because it's not that easy to match up exactly here. But you can look at the clouds between PSSR on and PSSR off, because it is a decision. If you pay for a PS5 Pro, are you going to run PSSR on or off? So this is a straight up PS5 Pro comparison. We've got everything off on the left hand side, everything on the right hand side. So if you made it this far in the video, these are going to be really interesting comparisons. You can see lights flickering. Have a look on the left hand side there, that Nissan GTR. The lights flickering. Remember, these are two different races I did. I did a race, recorded it, did another race, recorded it. So it's live. This is gameplay. It's not replay. I just took the UI off, so I'm racing without a UI. And I absolutely love ray tracing on the right hand side. But it's not the... You're going to have to pixel peep here. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all that we expect. Interesting here. Have a look. I paused the frame here. You see Tokyo Expressway. You know, it's way more defined on the right-hand side. So that might actually have a benefit when you're looking at braking markers. You might be able to make 150, 100, a 50 board out a little bit easier. But people were expecting Tokyo Expressway to be insane. Again, pixel peeping. You can see more definition in the building. I've literally never ever looked at that building when I'm going up this corner. It's a right-handed corner. That's nowhere near my apex or my line of vision. It's completely irrelevant. It's just window dressing. Here you can see reflections of the cars against other cars, but is it that important? I don't really know. Bit more sharper infrastructure, I would say, on the right-hand side. All of this, same level of detail, but I am going to show you something different level of detail too. It's really interesting. But at the moment, same level of detail there. But have a look at the level of detail now. Look at the cars kind of like popping in and out. We're going to see different levels of detail. Interesting here that the barrier on the right hand side is sort of more illuminated. Yes, I'm driving more on the right hand side than that one, but I felt like there was a little bit of a difference. But have a look at the level of detail popping of the cars. You can see flickering. Look at the Supra on the right hand side. Look at the spoiler flickering. Yes, it's in the spray, but it's less stable than the one on the left hand side. So there are trade-offs from running PSSR and ray tracing together versus everything off. Look at the cars really kind of like artifacting, I would say. That's not a good look. And this is just 4K capture. It's not anything, nothing's been applied on top of this. It's absolutely raw. And I definitely encourage you at times just pause this video and have a look at the left and have the right. And by the way, I'm going to show you something insane, but if you want to support me, please do feel free to subscribe. And also, if you want the perfect gift for Black Friday or Christmas, go check out the link in the description to my £9.99 GT7 Beginner Masterclass. It's the perfect gift for anyone who's starting out on Gran Turismo or a beginner driver. Please go check it out. Please do buy it if you think it might be valuable. Everyone who's done it has absolutely loved it. Insane value there for £9.99, frankly. So coming around here, you can see the reflections off the wall on the left-hand side, but you still get reflections with ray tracing off and PSSR off. Ray tracing is not this be-all and end-all. Interesting, slightly different sort of trails coming from the car on the right-hand side there you might have seen going through the spray. And as we go into the tunnel, I'm not going to try and fake a difference if there isn't one. These are ultimately very similar shots on the left and the right hand side. You know, sometimes there isn't a major difference. Yes, if I point stuff out, have a look at the wing mirrors. You can see again the reflections. You can see the Union Jack on the car on the right hand side. By the way, all these liveries are available to use if you join the community. KCR, absolutely free to join, free to use. But I mean, there's not a huge amount of differences. You're getting the reflections. It's very Gran Turismo 7 is already a very good game. Now, if you want to see more comparisons, go check out the video right here for PS5 Pro comparisons and let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you next time.